Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to welcome you all to the ATAL FDP on imparting soft skills and life skills for holistic development. The pandemic has reshaped our workplace, and the life, as we know, has changed. Technology is one of the major drivers of this change. In this scenario, a few skills, collectively known as soft skills, have been considered unique, as these are the human skills that technology cannot replicate and machines cannot possess. So soft skills are a blend of interpersonal and social intelligence skills. These include teamwork, empathy, creativity, communication, critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability, and the like. Soft skills are considered critical for achieving personal and professional effectiveness, and it has been consistently listed among the top 10 skills of the future. Life skills refer to the cluster of personal qualities, habits, attitudes, and emotional intelligence, social graces that make someone a good individual and compatible to work with. These skills are necessary prerequisites in the holistic development of learners. So unlike hard skills that can be proven and measured, soft skills and life skills are intangible and difficult to quantify, but they're very important to be inculcated in students. Even more when nowadays technology is isolating them. These skills develop the human connections, and along with the right blend with hard skills, this will enable individuals to reach their potential. So this FDP aims to equip educators with the tools to help learners imbibe these important skills. So you will see that in these 5 days, there will be a lot of sharing of tools and knowledges which will help you to inculcate these skills in your students. So I'm happy to introduce Dr. Kavita, Associate Professor, GRG School of Management Studies. She is one of the co-coordinators of this FDP, and she'll be there along with me coordinating.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, Kavita.
Yeah, thank you, Vandana.
We belong to GRG School of Management Studies, which is part of PSGR Krishnamal College for Women, Coimbatore. We are based in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, which is a 75-year-old institute dedicated exclusively to women's education. So this entire, FDP is scheduled for 5 days with 3 sessions each day of approximately 2 hours. So except the first day as well as the last day, we will be having 3 sessions. First day, because of the inauguration, we have 2 sessions. The last day, we will be having an additional session for assessment. The timing will be 9:30 to 4:30 for the other days, except the first day and the last day, which I think we have shared in the schedule also. The detailed schedule has been shared in the WhatsApp group, as well as I have mailed to you all. And as per the AICT guidelines, you should have 80% attendance. Attendance will be marked at the end of the day, and there will be an assessment also at the end of the sessions. That is on 10th September. The last session will be for assessment, and as per the guidelines, you should have minimum 60% marks to make you eligible to receive the certificate. Okay. So any questions, you can always, we are there in the WhatsApp group. You can post questions, or you can post it in the chat also. We'll be there throughout the sessions. Dr. Kavita and I will be there to support you. And for this FDP, we have resource persons or facilitators who are experts in their field, in their discipline. They are experts, renowned facilitators. So we hope that you will have a very good experience, great learning experience if you diligently participate in all the sessions. The first session we have aptly scheduled as time management and will be handled by Professor S Balasubramanian. And it is my pleasure to formally introduce him to you all. Professor Balasubramanian is currently the director of GRG Center for Advanced Studies, Coimbatore. He is a graduate in mechanical engineering from the University of Madras and holds PG diploma in management from IIM Calcutta. He is a fellow of All India Management Association. He has nearly 50 years of professional experience. He has held senior executive positions for 30 years in private and public sector industry, including Larsen and Toubro, BHEL, Parry and Company, Wärtsilä Corporation in India and abroad, prior to joining the academia in 1999. He has also served as director of Jiaji School of Management Studies, Coimbatore. Professor Balasubramanian is actively involved in management education, training, and consulting. His academic interests are in the field of business leadership and strategy. He has conducted successful and highly rated training programs for a large number of organizations and has been a resource person for numerous sessions on business leadership, strategic management, building a visionary organization, and time management. He has delivered over 200 keynote talks and chaired many sessions on higher education. He's also the author of a widely acclaimed book titled The Art of Business Leadership, Indian Experiences. And he has authored several white papers on management education and industry institute interaction for IMA, CII, and other associations. He has actively served as a member of the Council of Management of All India Management Association and the Managing Committee of Coimbatore Management Association. He continues to serve on the education panel of CII Southern Region and CII Coimbatore Zone. Welcome, sir. It is a privilege to have you as one of the facilitators. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Vandana. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to this.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to this ATAL FDP. The first session, as Vandana was saying very appropriately, is on time and life management. You're going to be engaged in over the next 5 days, and it is always better for all of us to learn something about time management. So I think Vandana has chosen this as the first topic. The kind words, thank you very much. Can everyone see the screen that I have shared?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent, very good. My suggestion is, in order to make this session interesting and in order to gain the maximum, I would recommend strongly that you interact. The more questions you ask, the more views that you express, the more perspectives that you share, the greater will be the learning for all of us. And therefore, I would strongly recommend that you feel free, you feel relaxed, and interact as much as you can. That will enhance the learning process. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you. All right. So we are going to start about the time and life management. Though the topic was only time management, I thought it would be necessary for us to also add one component of life management. Because when you say time management, you are also will be discussing the impact of time management on one's life. That also is very critical. And therefore, I have chosen this. And to start the session, I would request all of you just to tell me the answer to this question, which is coming up in the next slide. If you had 86,400 rupees for spending, how will you spend it? That is my question. Suppose I give you 86,400 rupees, how would you like to spend it? Now, remember, you cannot deposit it in the bank, you cannot save it. You have to spend it. You cannot give it as a loan. Now, you cannot say, my nephew or my niece or my mother or my father or my uncle wants some money, I gave it. You can't do that. It has to be spent. How will you spend? Can anybody start? Just tell me how you will spend. On what items will you spend that money?
Sir, I will spend on my happiness and to learn something, on my education, on myself only.
No. That is too broad. You know, because our happiness depends on the person. It changes from person to person. You'll have to tell me exactly what you will buy. Go ahead, Richa.
Some of them have posted in chat also, sir.
Some of them are posted in chat. There are 24 chats. Why don't you speak up? Electronic items, gadgets.
Oh,
You will buy the essentials for
I will purchase.
86,400. What is the essentials, Shanmugapriya?
Prioritize the expenditure we will give first importance.
On family.
Priority based we will spend.
Sorry?
Based on the priority.
Invest in shares.
I could not hear you, Dr. Jayanand.
Yeah, I will invest in share market.
You will invest in share market. Okay, but that is a kind of a saving. See, the idea was you should not invest as a measure of saving. You should not do that. You must spend it.
Okay.
Yes. So you cannot put it on a share market. It is almost like putting it in the bank. You can't do that.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I would like to spend on food, clothing, entertainment, my
Food,
physiological
clothing,
and psychological
entertainment.
needs.
Okay. So if I give you tomorrow morning.
Priority based, I will spend. Priority based.
No, what is priority in your case? How will you spend specifically?
Sir,
I
I will
will go
donate
on
to
a
someone
tour.
else.
One second, one by one.
I will donate to someone who are
You
all
can't
of-
donate. You
Okay.
can't donate. You have to spend. You cannot donate, Meenakshi.
Or I will start a business,
Means what?
small scale, small level business with which I could start with 86,400.
Sorry, you will start making what?
Small business.
But that again goes for the future, no?
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Palani.
Sir, this is Palani Bhaskar. I'll use it for some foreign tours and all, sir.
Yes,
You use it on foreign tours and all
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Tourism. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else wants to say anything?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Shalu Pandey here, sir.
Morning, Shalu.
Sir, since I have planned everything and this money has come suddenly and I don't have to save it, so I'll plan a vacation for my parents.
You will plan a vacation for your parents. Excellent. Okay. Excellent. Very good. Okay. Now, my next question is, when you said, for example, Shaluji was mentioning that she would like to spend it on planning a vacation for her parents. Somebody else said, I will go on a tour. I will travel and tourism and all that I will do. Somebody else said that I will buy something for the parents. My next question is, why do you want to do that? Why? That is my question.
Yes, sir. So may I answer, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, I want to do this for me because this gives me immense happiness.
That gives you happiness.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Doing something for your parents gives you happiness.
Yes, sir.
I see. Okay. All right. Anyone else?
Sir,
Why?
I am Shanmupriya, sir.
Shanmupriya.
Sir, I buy the essentials and give it to those who are in need of that. So I feel that I could help someone who is in need of the basic
So
that
if you
they
want
cannot
to,
afford.
if you want to derive happiness, you want to do something for somebody who is in need of something.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So that gives you, doing something for others gives you happiness. Okay. All right.
Yes, sir. True, sir.
Dr. Tirumala.
Sir,
Dr. Tirumala Rao, go ahead. Yeah, Lynette.
sir, morning.
Morning.
Sir, I'll buy the most, whatever I want to buy it for my parents first. I'll spend some money for my parents, then for my elder sister and my younger sister, then for my niece, 2 niece and 1 nephew. Then I'll buy some things for my husband, and then some for me. By then my needs are met. Then there are a couple of people and my neighbors who need some things, like some of my neighbors, their roof is a little bit spoiled. Some
Okay,
need
so
some.
what?
So I'll help my neighbors.
Again, what you're saying is that you will do something for others.
Yes, sir. But after once I feel that my needs are met, not the most, but I'll make sure that whatever I need, the basics I take, then I'll spend it to whoever it is necessary.
But your own family, your mother, your husband, your brother, sister, etc., you put above you.
Yeah, yes, sir. But no, not to all my relatives. My father, mother, my elder sister, my younger one, my husband, and my 1
Only
niece
these
and 1
5
nephew.
people
Yes.
are above yourself.
Yes, sir. Countable. Yes, countable.
Okay, counting above you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting. Okay. Now, when you talk about time management, I want you to realize that 6,400 rupees, if you take the number of seconds in a day, you will
It is a
find
number,
that
right?
it is 86,400. 24 hours multiplied by 60 minutes multiplied by 60 seconds. So 86,400 is the number of seconds that you have in a day. In a day of 24 hours, you have 86,400 seconds. Every second is important because 1 second that you have spent does not come back like money. Now, this is something I want all of you to recognize and understand. 86,400 seconds are there in a day. Whether you are rich or poor, whether you are black or white, whether you are a man or a woman, whether you are tall or short, whether you are fat or thin, every one of us has been given only 86,400 seconds. Each of us would spend 86,400 in different ways. Different ways. And remember, once you spend it, there is no way you can recover. Suppose I'm going to live up to 80 years or 90 years or 100 years. The moment I spend a few seconds of that, my life is no longer 100, it is 100 minus those seconds. It never comes back. You lose money, you spend money, you may get it back. But the time is something which you never ever get back. Once spent is spent forever. You will never ever get it back in your life. This is something I want all of you to realize. Any comments?
Sir,
The only difference is money we can save, sir. Time we cannot save.
You cannot save. You cannot save. Because if I save, let us say out of 86,400 seconds of today, I save, let us say 10,000 seconds, I can't have extra tomorrow. By midnight 12:00, it is gone. There is no saving. I cannot add it cumulatively. I cannot save it. That's why I said you cannot deposit in the bank, you cannot save it, you have to spend it. Because that 24 hours that you have every day is a fresh amount. It cannot be accumulated. I cannot say I saved 10 hours yesterday, I will spend it today. No, that is not possible. Anybody wants to make a comment at this stage?
sir,
Yeah, Lynette?
a small doubt. Can we live that conscious each moment? Is it possible?
Sorry, what? Come again?
Can we live that conscious each moment? Is
You
it
have
possible?
to. It is possible. That's why time management. That is why time management.
So when have you reached that point? Is it that when you became a little past your 40s, or were you like that even before?
See, this may not be feasible when you are very young, but it is possible for you to realize it. Now, as we go along with other slides, I will tell you how that can be done. I will tell you how that can be done. Any other comment? Okay, I will proceed. And therefore, the objective becomes very important. For anything and everything that we do, there has to be an objective. There has to be a purpose. Now, for example, some of you said, I will spend it on my mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, whatever you said. There must be a purpose. Why do you want? That's why I asked that question, why? Everything needs to have an answer to the question, why? Why do I want to do it? That is called the objective. What is the objective? If you don't have an objective in life, nothing is relevant. You can do what you want. You can live any way you want because there is no objective. There is no purpose. You can live any way you want. You can do whatever you want because there is no objective. And therefore, if you want your life meaningful, if you want your life to be purposeful, you need to have an objective. This I want all of you to recognize this. Now, all of us today, we are living in a world of mobile phones, all right, or emails. Now, every time we always say, oh, no, I'm just spending a few minutes. I'm just spending a few seconds. But have you ever consciously added the total time. How many minutes or how many seconds or how many hours am I spending on social media, on Facebook, on email, on WhatsApp, on texting? Just calculate the total, because if you do it without totaling it, it may appear very small. I'm just looking at the phone. I'm just looking at the phone, right? But that looking at the phone consumes certain number of seconds. And keep on adding those seconds throughout the day, you will be shocked to know how many seconds have been lost. Now, this may sound very, very trivial, but try this, doing it at least for 1 or 2 or 3 days. Then you will come to a shock, realize how much you are losing every day. I'm not saying that these are not important. I'm not saying that. Some of them may be very, very useful. Some of them may be very, very important. I'm not discarding. I'm only saying that you should be conscious of how much time you are spending. That's all my point. I'm not passing a value judgment. I'm not saying that this is good or bad, desirable, not desirable. I'm not saying anything like that. All that I'm saying is you must be conscious. You must be aware that out of my 24 hours, 86,400 seconds, I'm spending so many seconds on these activities, right? Because again, as I said earlier, whether you are thin or fat or dark or white or tall or short, man or woman, every one of us has only 24 hours. Some people have time for everything. Some people have no time at all. You go and ask some people, at home, they'll say, oh, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Everyone has been given only 24 hours. What do you mean you don't have time? That means you have not planned your time. That is why time management. Typically, consider a typical day in your life. Typical day. All right. You will find that roughly, depending upon your age and your health and all that, typically, maybe anywhere between 7 and 8 hours to spend on sleep. Okay. Some people sleep for 7 hours, some people 8, some people 8.5. I will say average. If you are an adult, not a person like me, I sleep only 6 hours or less than that. But a normal adult will sleep about 8 hours. All right. 8 hours out of 24 is gone. And let's assume the working hours effectively are 6 at office. Okay. It can be 6 or 7. I'm taking it as 6. All right. So 8 plus 6, 14. Right. The balance available is 10. Out of that, before COVID, now of course people don't travel much, but if you take commuting to office and come back and all that, that will take about 2 hours. Then you got eating, your breakfast, your lunch, your evening tea, your night dinner, all that. That will take about 2 hours. Now, if you remove these 2 plus 2 out of 10, then you get only 6. Out of that, you got daily routine. Morning you wake up, You got your daily routine that you have to do. Then there is personal discretion that you want to spend time gossiping, meeting friends, or whatever, watching TV, entertainment, all that. Okay. So you will realize that we do not have enough time that we have to manage. This is my point. The major part of your time in a day is already fixed. All right. What you can play around is only about 4 hours. That is all is available to you to play around, for you to manage. The remaining is all almost fixed. Now, different people may have different hours and all that. I'm not getting into the detail, but the overall, you will find that all of us have just about 4 hours, which we can play around. The remaining hours are almost fixed. Anybody has any comments so far? Go ahead. Anyone?
No, sir. You can proceed.
No, sir. Not as of now, nothing.
All right. Okay.
Everything fine, sir.
Everything is fine. I'm not sure everything is fine. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Okay. Soundarya, you want to say something? Soundarya?
Hello, sir.
No, Soundarya has raised her hand. I'm wondering whether it is by mistake or she
Hello.
wants to say something. Yes, Dr. Jayanand.
I think the point here is that we cannot manage our time unless we don't know where we spend our time. This is, I think, the entire point.
Yes, that is one of the points. Unless we know where we spend our time, the question of managing the time doesn't arise.
Exactly, sir.
We should know where we spend our time. That's why I said, you please make a note for yourself and try to find out where you spend your time. That is very, very important. Haji, Manisha ji?
It could also mean, sir, that we should set up priorities first. And
I'm coming to no.
Yeah.
Don't
Fine.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
So I'm saying that it's all a matter of what is important, what is urgent. Now I'm trying to differentiate these two. And the way I'm differentiating is urgent is something which needs to be attended to immediately. That I'm calling it urgent. It may or may not be important. I'm not getting into that. I'm saying my definition of urgent means it needs to be attended to immediately. Like, for example, let us say my telephone rings. It is urgent because if I don't attend to that phone, I will not know whether it is important or not. Follow what I'm saying? I call it urgent. That means something which needs to be done now. Something for which there is a deadline. That I'm calling it urgent. It may or may not be important. I want all of you to follow this very, very, very carefully. It is urgent, may or may not be important. So then the question comes, what is important? Okay, if you say all our activities in life can be divided into important and urgent, if I do that, then urgent, you are saying it is something which needs to be attended to immediately. You are defining as urgent. Fair enough. What is important? My answer to that is anything that takes you towards your objective is important. Now, I want you to understand this very, very clearly. So the difference I'm making is anything that needs to be attended to immediately with the time, with the deadline, I call it urgent. Anything that is related to your objective is important. That's why I said before this slide, I said you must define what is your objective. Anything that you do, there is a requirement for an objective. If there is no objective, nothing is relevant. All of you think about this. Now, all of you are attending this FDP. Let me ask you a simple question. Why are you attending the FDP? Because that will give you an idea of what is your objective. Is it to get one ACT certificate? Is it to gain knowledge? Is it for something else? Is it to fulfill your work norms? You know, they may say you must attend 3 conferences or 2 FDPs and so on and so forth. Is it for that? Ask yourself that question. I'm attending an FDP. Why am I attending an FDP? For what? What is the objective? What is the purpose? Ask yourself that question. If whatever you are doing, right now you are spending time, right? By attending the FDP, by attending my session, you are spending time. This time will never come back to you, for sure. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Now that will depend upon what is your objective of this FDP. You must ask yourself that question. And that I will call important. Whatever is related to your objective, I call it important. Haji Mamta ji, you have raised your hand. You have a point to make. Mamta ji.
I think it may be by mistake.
Yes, that's why I lowered it. Okay. So it is all a matter of important versus urgent. Before I go to the next slide, let me repeat once again. Whatever is to be attended to immediately with the deadline, with the time frame, I call it urgent. It may or may not be important. If it is related to achievement of your objective, if it is related to achievement of your purpose, I will say it is important. So if I draw a grid with important on one axis and urgent on the other axis, I will get 4 quadrants. I will have quadrant number 1, which is important and urgent. I will have quadrant number 2, which is important, not urgent. Quadrant number 3, not important, but urgent. And quadrant number 4, not important, not urgent. You will get 4 quadrants. If you draw a graph, now you take your 24 hours, you divide it and put each of those every 1 hour. Suppose you classify and put them, okay, this is urgent, this is important, this is urgent, this is important, this is urgent, this is important. If you keep on doing that exercise, you will find how many hours goes into each of these quadrants. There are some activities which are important and urgent. Some of them are important but not urgent. I mean, there is no deadline. You don't have to do it immediately. There are some which are not important, but which are urgent, like a telephone call, as I told you just now. Or there are some which are not important, not urgent. That's what we will call in life trivia. Trivia means, you know, some of the silly things that we keep doing. Gupchup marte hain, all that. That is not important, not urgent. But we still spend time on that. Gossiping with the neighbor, all that. Trivia. For example, we read film fair. What will you learn? Okay, Amitabh Bachchan does this, so what? We pucha? You ask yourself that question. So you get 4 quadrants, you get. So quadrant number 1 is important and urgent. I want to focus on this. What are important and urgent? There are some crises, pressing problems. For example, suddenly somebody has a heart attack. It is important and urgent. Okay. There is a crisis. There is, let us say, a fire in the office. That is important and urgent. It needs to be attended to immediately, and it is important. Some meetings, not all meetings, some meetings are important and urgent. The second quadrant is important, not urgent. It is important. It is important for me. And you know, at this point of time, I also want you to realize that what is important to me may not be important to another person. The concept of importance varies from person to person because it is related to objective, it is related to purpose. You know, earlier that we were discussing 86,400 rupees, somebody said, I will buy something for my mother, right? No, that may not be important to me, but that is important for you because that is your objective, right? It may not be important for me. Importance is something which are individualistic. It is not common for everybody. Whereas urgent things can be common. Telephone things, whether it is your telephone or my telephone or anybody's telephone, it is urgent. But important can be individualistic. It doesn't have to be the same for everybody. So what are those which are important but not urgent? Like for example, let us say you want to go to the gym, or you want to do the workout, you want to do the walking every morning. That will typically come under this. Important, not urgent. Okay. You want to keep yourself healthy, you want to do exercises, but your mind will always tell you, oh, we'll do it from tomorrow. Kal se karenge. We'll do it from tomorrow. Right? And many of us postpone until it becomes urgent. So important things which are neglected over a period of time will become urgent. This is another point I want all of you to note down. Important things which are neglected become urgent over a period of time. You neglect your health, you neglect something else, you neglect loving your family. For example, let us say in the deathbed, all right, or about to die. Have you ever come across anybody who says, I wish I had spent 3 more hours in the office? Have you ever seen that? Never. They will always say, I wish I had spent more time with my family. I wish I had spent more time with my children. But during their lifetime, they didn't do that. They were focusing on the office. They were not focusing on the family. This is what happens. At that time, it becomes urgent. Because you neglect that important thing. What are the items? Preparations, preventive maintenance. For example, in many manufacturing units, you will find something called preventive maintenance, not curative maintenance. Preventive maintenance. What does it mean? There is no urgency, but still, I want to shut down this for preventive maintenance. I need to do the maintenance today so that my machine does not break down tomorrow. Though there's no urgency. But many companies, what do they do? What do? They wait for the machine to break down and then attend to it. Why? Why? Because then it becomes urgent. Why don't you do it when it is important, not urgent? Planning, relationship building, right? You want to tell your mother, I love you. Why don't you say it now? Why do you want to wait till the last minute and then try to say, oh, I didn't tell her that I love her? Do it now. The third quadrant is not important, but urgent. Not important, but urgent. Like, for example, some interruptions, some calls, some email, some meetings. The boss says, can I see you in the next 5 minutes? All right. It is urgent because you need to attend to it in 5 minutes. But it may not be important. It may not serve any purpose for you. So that is called urgent, but not important. The last one is more the not important, not urgent. Like for example, trivia, junk mail, some phone calls, some escape activities that we do, right? In fact, I tell my wife many times, watching serial at home, for example, me that is not important, not urgent. But for her, it may be, I don't know. right? So these are the 4 that you have. If I put together important, urgent, important, not urgent, not important, but urgent, not important, not urgent. For the next 5 minutes, can we discuss this? Anyone has any comments? Please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I'm Usha here. I had tried out this particular activity with my students once, and it's a really effective one, sir. Because at the end of the activity, the students also realize how beautifully they are able to come down to a point where which part of their life they need to prioritize and give more time to. It was a very good session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha. In fact, I have done it with my students, and many of them remember me at least for this after many, many years. They always come back and tell me, you taught me what is important. So, see, actually, it's very simple concept. Everything that you do needs to have a purpose. It must have an objective. This is point 1. Point 2 is any time spent on any activity that takes you towards the achievement of your objective or purpose is important. All the other activities may or may not be urgent. Right? This is very important. Now, very often we do many things because the boss wants it to be done. Have you ever asked the boss? See, it may be important to him. It may not be important to you. Now, this is the clash that you always have. How can I say no? Now, I'm sure Vandana will also be telling you later about something called assertiveness. What is assertiveness? Assertiveness is not aggressiveness. It is not being rude. It is not being impolite. It is not being disobedient. Assertiveness means very politely, but very firmly, you express yourself. You stand up for what you believe is right. That is called assertiveness. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be impolite. You don't have to be disobedient. You can be very, very polite. You can be very, very obedient, but still say no. That is assertiveness. Right? So, importance is like that because the time you spend, right, is never going to come back. And that is being deducted from your life, not somebody else's life. The boss is not going to compensate that time. You lost it forever. If I do something which is not important to me, it means I have lost it forever. I'm not going to get it back in my life. Right? That's why it becomes very, very important. That is what I want all of you to remember very clearly. Okay.
There are two questions, sir, in the chat. What does trivia mean? One
trivia means you must have heard of something called trivial. Trivial, V-I-A-L. Trivial. Trivial means something. Again, I've used the same words. Something which is not important, not urgent. That is called trivial. Many, many things that we do, trivial things that we do. For example, as I told you, I read some Filmfare I learn about what happened to, let us say, one of the actors, one of the actresses. That I call it real, because it plays no role in my life. It plays no role in my life. Now, for example, forwards. You know, WhatsApp forwards. Nowadays, that is a fashion. No, everybody forwards, right? Have you seen those forwards? Most of them are trivial. Most of them. Some are good, but most of them are trivial. It's a waste of time. It's a criminal waste of time. If you ask me, criminal waste of time. Think about this. Think about this.
There's another question, sir. What is your escape activity?
Again,
One Ms.
see,
Krutika has
escape activity is, let us say I'm doing something. You know, for example, many people, when they smoke, you go and ask them, why do you smoke? It is actually an escape activity. They are escaping from something and they are going out for a smoke. Now, that is an escape activity. Some people, they just go out, all right? They will say, I'm standing in the breeze, or I want some fresh air. It is an escape activity.
So can you just tell us about your escape activity, if in case if any?
My escape activity at the moment is, I would say, watching some YouTube things. For example, I'm very, very fond of the former president of the US, President Barack Obama. I keep watching his videos. There are many videos. So whenever I feel a little, when I do a lot of work and all that, and I want to escape, I just take my mobile phone and see Barack Obama's video. Now it is neither important nor urgent. Okay, it's not going to take me towards my objectives, and it is not deadline driven. But I just do it for a few minutes. That relaxes my mind, that takes me away from work, all that.
So there are questions in the chat box. How do we manage unexpected activities? From Mr. Ravinder Reddy.
I'm coming to that. Deliberately, I keep that question in abeyance because I don't want to answer it right now. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Mr. Muralidhar, I think, has asked, right? Was it asked by Muralidhar?
No, it was by Mr. Ravinder Reddy.
Ravinder Reddy. Ravinder Reddy, yes. I will come back to that, Mr. Reddy. I will come back to that. I will answer the question. For the moment, we will park it. Okay. Now the question that many people ask me is, okay, this is what you are saying, important, urgent, all that, and then you are saying 4 quadrants are there. Okay, fair enough. How should I divide my time? What should be my priority? Can any of you tell me what is the priority? Any of you? Because it's all a matter of prioritization. None of them is zero. In a person's life, in 24 hours, none of the quadrants can be zero. There are trivias, there are some junk mail. Something will be there. So it can't be zero, right? You need to prioritize. If you want to manage time and if you want to live meaningfully, you need to prioritize. Can any of you tell me what is the priority? Go ahead, anybody.
So anything that comes under most important and most urgent.
Usha, there's only one small difference. If you see my slide, I put there the priority.
Important and urgent.
Generally, you will say important and urgent should be done first. In my opinion, important, not urgent should be done first. That should be the priority.
Sorry, sir, important but
not urgent. Because, as I said, not urgent becomes urgent because you are neglecting important. You remember during my talk, I was saying that something which is not urgent today becomes urgent because you neglected when it was important. That's why it becomes urgent. All right. And therefore, the priority should be important, not urgent. It means quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 2 is your priority number 1. And then quadrant number 1 is your priority number 2. Important and urgent. The third is quadrant number 3. Not important, but urgent. And quadrant number 4 is not important, not urgent. That is obvious. Quadrant number 4 is very, very obvious. That is the last priority. All right. And quadrant number 3 is third priority. The question is between quadrant number 1 and quadrant number 2. In my view, quadrant number 2 should be priority number 1, and quadrant number 1 should be priority number 2. Think about this. Think about this. Now, a lot of research has taken place, a lot of survey has been done, and people always think, how much of my time in terms of percentage I must allocate for each of the priorities? Because as I said, none of them you can make it 0. All right. None of them you can make it 0. Because in reality, in life, every quadrant will have some time. How much time? Can anybody answer that question quickly? How much time as a percentage? You have 24 hours. What percentage you should spend on what quadrant? Ideally. This is what it is. Cash is always between quadrant number 2 and quadrant number 3. The low performing average typical people will spend only about 15% on things which are important, not urgent, and they will spend about 50 to 60% on things which are urgent, not important. That should be reversed. Quadrant number 2 and quadrant number 3 should be reversed. Very, very difficult. I can understand that you will find it very difficult to accept it. But think about it. Think about it. Quadrant number 2 is your priority number 1. You must spend 65 to 80% of your time on quadrant 2. And roughly about 20 to 25% on quadrant number 1. So roughly about, I would say a maximum of about 80-85% should be spent on things which are important. May or may not be urgent, but certainly important. All of us, right from childhood, we have been doing things which are urgent, not important. I want all of you to focus on what is important, not what is urgent.
Sir, thank you so much. I must say I'm Dr. Kavita here from Amity University, Noida.
Yeah, Kavita.
And I really want to thank you for, many time as a HR person when we study this particular model. I have also found juggling with this model many times, to be very honest. But today, the way you have formulated it, it has given me a deeper insight because many times, like for example, if we talk about health, we ignore our health, which is the most important aspect, which has to be like my dad always used to tell us that stitch in time saves 9. If even if you see your cloth or your garment which has a small hole, or let's say you are wearing a sweater or a pullover or a coat, so just when you mend it on time, you can save so much things, so much energy. And especially like online shopping, e-commerce, we spend so much time, and even we have so many luxuries with us. The next is just piling up back to our wardrobes. But yes, you have given me a new vision, sir, and thank you so much for bringing such a module to this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you. Thank you. So this is what I would say in short summary, that all the activities that you have in 24 hours divided into important, urgent. And among them, I implement those which are important, not urgent. Do it first, important and urgent, do it next. All right, over a period of time. You can't do this tomorrow morning. Over a period of time, you need to practice it. It's very, very difficult because our mind always tells us we have to do what is urgent. No. Do what is important, not what is urgent. So between quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, please spend 80 to 85% of your time. Your 24 hours a day, try to divide it, compartmentalize it in such a way that you spend 80 to 85% on only things which are important, not necessarily urgent. It may be urgent, it may not be urgent, but certainly important. And how do you define important? Only those things which will take you towards your objective, your purpose. And for that, you should first define what is your objective. In anything in life, you must have an objective. In fact, my faculty colleagues will tell you, including Vandana, he will tell you, any paper, any proposal comes to me, my first question is, what is the objective? Because if you can't tell me the objective, nothing is relevant. Whatever you do is immaterial. How is it relevant? Nothing is relevant. Whether you talk about curriculum, whether you talk about program, you talk about anything else. What is the objective? What is the purpose? Now, once you answer that, all the others will fall in line. It's easy for you. It's very, very important. And that brings us to the life part, where I've just put a T. This is one of my things, this tree. You know, where you have the root, you have the trunk, and you have the leaves and fruit and all that. I call it the principles and the faith that you get as a child, as your parents nurture you. That I call it the principles, the root. And from the root emerges the trunk of the tree, which I call the mission, the values, etc. And then you have all these external manifestations, the flowers and the fruits and the leaves, the branches. That is the roles you play to fulfill your mission, fulfill your values. When do you say the tree has fallen? Not when the branch falls, not when the leaf falls, not when the fruit falls. When the trunk falls, you say the tree has fallen. That means what? The day you compromise your values, the day you go away from your mission, you have fallen. Because that value, that mission arises out of your principles and faiths, which are the root of the tree. This is very, very important. Because there is a demand from different people on your time. There's a family demand, your children, your spouse, everybody is demanding time, your uncle, your aunt, your parents, everybody is demanding on your time. Your work, your boss, your peers, your subordinates, everybody wants. The society, the community, your religious associations, your clubs, whatever you have. All the people are demanding on your time, and you have only 24 hours, not more. So if you can't manage, yeah, Sashireka? You are coming in broken. All right. Okay. Somebody's disturbance. Can you kindly mute yourself, please? Thank you. So if you can't manage your time very well, you will end up as a sadhu. This is what will happen. If you don't know how to manage your time, you will end up as a sadhu, right? For example, I have a mission. If I say, I will maintain a positive attitude and a sense of humor in everything I do. I want to be known by my family as a caring and loving husband and father, by my business associates as a fair and honest person, by my friends as someone they can count on. The people who work for me and with me, I pledge my respect, and I will strive every day to earn their respect. Controlling all my actions is a strong sense of integrity, which I believe most important characteristic. Now, what does it mean? It means that if this is what I want to be known for, this is the one on which I have to spend time. This will define what is important to me. All the other things are not important to me. Only this is important. If I want my family to say that I'm a caring husband, I'm a loving father, then I must spend time on nurturing that. If I want my friends to say, here is a guy who I can count on, then I must spend on friendship. If I want all my business associates to tell that I am a fair, honest person, every action of mine, every decision of mine has to be for that. I need to spend time on that. If you have to earn respect, you have to spend time on earning respect. This is the way you define your time. This is the way you define your time. Set yourself a mission. Set yourself a direction. Set yourself a goal and work towards it. Peter Drucker, the father of management, said time is the scarcest resource of the manager. If it is not managed, nothing else can be managed. This is Peter Drucker, you know, the old man. And our costliest expenditure is always time. And therefore, I will conclude by saying that today is the tomorrow we were dreaming yesterday. You know, many of us said, I will do it from tomorrow. I will do it from tomorrow. I will do it from tomorrow. That tomorrow is today, right? So no question of procrastination, no question of postponing. Start doing it now. Try to manage time now. Set priorities now. Identify your objectives and goals now, not tomorrow. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish all of you a great time. Enjoy this FDP, and I'm sure that at the end of it, all of you will learn a lot of things about soft skills. Thank you. God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That was an excellent session. I have listened to you so many times, but whenever I listen to you again, it really gives me fresh perspective, something new to think about. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure listening to you. And I believe all the participants also had great learning from the session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we have shared the feedback form. Kindly click the link and give your feedback for the session. Thank you very much. We will join at 2 o'clock. Yes, Dr. Monita, you were.
Monita wants to say something.
Say something.
Actually, she's got some network issues, sir. Her voice is not proper.
May I? I'm Usha Dinakaran from Bangalore, Christ University.
Yes, Usha.
Yeah. So your session was excellent, sir. Really nice. And it was great listening to you. I'm listening to you for the first time. Very motivating, I would say. Very interesting facts. Thanks a lot, sir, for the wonderful session.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vandana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
There is a, in the chat, you can find the link for feedback. Kindly give your feedback of the session, and we can join after giving your feedback. We will join at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. for the next session. Is that okay with everyone?
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
The feedback link is shared in the chat. Some of the participants have asked where we can find the feedback link.
Will join with same link, no, ma'am?
Yes, for all 5 days.
The entire FDP, you have to use the same link.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
To avoid confusions and all.
At 2 p.m. ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, 2 p.m. 5 minutes before you join, so that if you have any technical issues, you can sort it out.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And Miss Vandana, can you share it in the WhatsApp or this form?
Yes, Kavita, can we?
No, Vandana, those who are attending the session, let them fill it because in
Okay.
the WhatsApp group, everybody will be there, right?
Okay, okay, because I'm finding it very tough to
Is there
check
any
it. Okay.
problem? You have joined through your laptop only, right? Or mobile?
Yes, yes, yes. Laptop only.
So
Laptop.
just click on that link, you can access it.
Yeah, yeah. I will do that. I will do that. Okay. Thank you. Thank
If
you.
it's available, you can just click on it and do it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I hope attendance and the feedback and the form is same, na?
Yes, yes. The same thing. You can have it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll meet again by 1:55.
Yes.
Hope all of you have got that feedback form.
Feedback form. Hope all of you have got. Because we are
Yes,
going
ma'am,
to be-
submitted.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, ma'am, I have submitted.
Then I'm ending the meeting now. We can join again by 1:55.
Yeah, we'll be there 10 minutes before the session. Thank you.